How do you correct a forward head posture when you have ADHD? And this especially is for you if you have tension in the back of your neck, in your jaw, the sides of your neck, in your upper traps, and in your pecs. I'm a corrective exercise specialist who specializes in working with hypermobility. And usually what I see is that a lot of my clients with ADHD also have hypermobility leading to postural dysfunction. So today I'm going to be taking you through step-by-step exercises to correct the forward head posture with your nervous system and get those tight muscles to finally be able to release. Let's do this.
There's strength in finding answers.
So for today, what we're going to need is a resistance band. Any resistance band will do, and a mat or a comfortable place to lay down. We're going to start on the floor, or if it's better for you, you can start laying down on a comfortable surface like your bed. I'm personally going to be using a mat. Other options would be laying down with pillows underneath your knees and with a hand towel rolled up underneath your neck. We're going to be starting with diaphragmatic breath work, because one of the reasons why this forward neck posture might have happened is because of incorrect breathing mechanisms, meaning that we as neurodivergent people might not be breathing with the right muscles. So all of these tight muscles are having to overcompensate every single time that we breathe, which means that they can then get shortened and tight and inflamed, and it's almost impossible to feel them relax even after a good massage. So we're going to be correcting that now. So as we lay down, it's going to be very important that you feel the diaphragm, that you feel the two balloons inside of your rib cage. And we want to feel those two balloons acting as a vacuum to draw in the air to make the inhale happen. So we want to listen to who's doing the work. Which muscle do you feel? If you feel your jaw, your back of your neck, your sides of your neck, your upper traps, release and ungrip, you did it. That's exactly what we want to feel with this. We want to feel the diaphragm being able to do the work alone in an isolated way so that these other muscles can finally let go and stop overcompensating. Let's give it a try now. So again, we want to feel those two balloons. And as we inhale, we want to feel the two balloons expand out and down. So let's go ahead and try that here just for a few reps to start. It can be small if it needs to be small. We don't want to push past shortness of breath, but we also don't want to push past all of these other muscles getting tight in response. So let's go ahead and try that now. You can just let your abs relax on the exhale. You don't need to squeeze them. So again, seeing that these two balloons are moving out and down. Trying to feel the jaw release and the upper traps release. Let's do two more. Might even be helpful on this next one to put your hand on your chest to make sure the chest is not rising as well. We want to feel only this area rise. And go ahead and relax and rest. All right, where did you feel that? And do you feel less tight or more tight now that you have completed the exercise? That's going to be a great way to check in with yourself on who was doing what. So we're going to do one more set. And again, if you need to stop there, you can stop there. But as we go into this, we're not just doing belly breathing. It's not just about pushing out the belly to make the breath happen, because more often than not, many of us have already tried that at yoga class and it didn't actually correct anything. We're trying to feel the diaphragm actually draw in the air to make the inhale happen like a vacuum. That sensory connection is everything. Let's go ahead and try it again. I just felt the upper traps ungrip. So again, the belly is allowed to rise with this, but it's not pushing out. It's only rising because it's going along for the ride of what the diaphragm is doing. Let's do two more. Really try to feel that suction of the diaphragm sucking in the air. And last one. And rest. Good job. Next, we're going to activate our cervical flexors. These are literally the brace that holds your neck together. Imagine if you just had a brace on your neck all day long holding you together so these tight muscles could relax. That's what these hubbies are. So we're going to try to activate them. You can imagine drinking water if that helps. And as you drink the water, the back of the tongue ushers that water back to make the swallow happen. That's kind of what we want to feel here when we activate your cervical flexors. We want to feel the back of your tongue just lightly move up. It doesn't need to touch the roof of your mouth. We want to feel this area like the back of a swallow move in and up. And we want to feel a sensory connection to your cervical flexors here in the center of your throat. So let's go ahead and try that before we get into any chin tucks or anything further. Like the back of a swallow, let's try to feel the back of the tongue activate upward and this area here move in and up. Notice that mine is moving up as I do this. Yours doesn't need to move that far. If you feel like your jaw is compensating or the back of your neck is compensating, you can do so much less, and that's okay. And if you don't feel the right muscles doing this work yet, it can take time to build neural connection, and that's okay too. You can come back to this session and you can try it over and over again until eventually your nervous system understands the assignment. If you do feel like you're getting the right muscles recruited and you're ready to go into a phase 2 exercise, let's go ahead and lay down, or you can remain seated with a backing in your chair, and let's do chin tucks. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to activate those cervical flexors, just like the back of a swallow, bringing the very, very back of your tongue lightly up and trying to feel the center area of the throat move in and up. And after you activate, hold that activation and then do a very small crunch, just like an ab crunch. We're trying to feel these muscles shorten and squeeze to make the crunch happen. So I'm going to activate and then hold the activation and crunch. Let's do 2 more. And rest. Where did you feel it? And I'm not talking about where did this hurt. I'm talking about where did you feel the muscles activating? Which muscles were doing it? Was it the center of your throat? Or was it these guys trying to take over like they love to do? If you felt the wrong areas taking over, that's okay. This takes time. Maybe less time we can play around with doing less reps, less range of motion, or even waiting until you build more sensory connection from the activation exercise before you build into more range of motion doing chin tucks. Let's stop there with this one because it could be really easy to get the wrong muscles online and then you're in pain the next day, and that is the opposite of what we want here. If you do want another set, you can pause the video now and do another set of maybe 3 to 5 reps if that feels good for you. But I don't want to push you in this here, so I'm going to have us stop now. And we'll go on to the next exercise. Next, we're going to be using our resistance band, and we'll be standing if that's comfortable for you. Of course, you can modify if you need to. You can sit down if you need to while using a resistance band. So I'm going to start with what's called a scapular retraction. So for the scapular retraction, we're trying to feel the bottom inside corner of the shoulder blade, draw the shoulder blade in towards one another. So I'm going to press my shoulders down. My feet are hip width apart. My belly button is drawn in and up to keep my abdominals nice and braced so my back does not take over. And I'm going to have my palms facing the sky. Now I'm going to try to draw in the bottom inside corner of the shoulder blade together. So I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together and then releasing. I'm going nice and small at first, really trying to feel the right muscle doing the work. Keep in mind, if you're not doing this with the right muscles, it might not actually make much of a difference. Let's go ahead and have you start this with me. We're going to get started and do 2 sets of 5 just to get started with us, okay? So go ahead and get into position and let's try this. Squeezing shoulder blades together. Really trying to feel that bottom inside corner of the shoulder blade. We don't want upper traps. So if you feel upper traps, you can try to press shoulders down even more. And you can try going smaller if needed. We also don't want your low back to compensate. We want this to just be the shoulder blade. Go ahead and take a break. Now, here's the big question. How do you feel after doing that? Do you feel less tight or do you feel more tight? That's the classic Tracy question that we're going to be asking during these sessions. If you feel more tension in the upper traps, more tension in the low back, you may have gone past capacity. And we really want to feel the right muscle be able to do this job so these other muscles can finally let go and stop overcompensating. So if you didn't feel that happen, that's okay. It can take time, but really try to pay attention to where you feel the exercise. If you do not feel more tight, if you feel pretty good, then let's go ahead and go in for a second set. But this is all about listening to your body. So I'm getting back into position. I'm engaging my belly button in and up, pressing those shoulder blades down. And I'm going to try it again. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Keep it nice and small if you need to. Really try to feel it in the right spot. Try to feel those bottom corners of the shoulder blade. Do that work to squeeze the shoulder blades together. Let's do 2 more. Good. And last one. And rest. Next, we're going to go into some protraction work for the shoulder blade. Notice how much work we're doing for your shoulder blade when you have a forward neck. That's partially because when you have these rounded shoulders, your neck is going to get a lot of that load. And so it's going to be getting a lot of pressure in the back of the neck when you have rounded shoulders. So one of the first ways to stabilize a forward neck and to bring it back on top of your shoulders is actually to stabilize the shoulder. Who would have thought? We're going to be doing protraction work. This means pushing the shoulder blade away from your ribs. So when we do this, we want to feel this area here pushing away from the rib cage. You actually want to feel the push. This is called the boxer's muscle because it's like a boxer pushing away from the rib cage while they punch. So we're going to use that same resistance band, and this time I'm grabbing the top handle and I'm placing the bottom one underneath my back foot. So if it's my right arm that I'm using, which I know is confusing because we're opposite of each other right now, it's my right arm that I'm using, it's my right leg that goes behind. I'm stepping on the resistance band with that back leg. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my other leg in front and I'm going to come into this 90-degree angle with my arm. If that's comfortable for you, you can start lower if you need to. It's up to your body. We don't push through pain or tension here. As I do this, I'm going to, again, pull that belly button in and up, press shoulders down, and I'm going to try to feel this area right here as I kind of rotate and push the resistance band away. All right, like this. So I'm literally feeling this push, but it's also kind of a stretch at the same time. It's really nice. So again, we're going to try for 2 sets of 5 to start. Of course, we want to build on top of that as you build neural connection. But I find that a lot of people actually go too far too soon. They push past what these muscles can do by themselves. And then you have all the wrong muscles compensating again, and you're right back where you started. So it actually makes the problem worse. So let's try to listen to our body's capacity, really try to listen to what you are feeling. Are you feeling the right muscle do the work? And if you feel the upper traps or you feel the back of your neck doing the work, maybe do a little bit less range of motion. Let's go ahead and start for 5. So again, pushing down those shoulder blades, drawing in the belly button, and let's push away. 2. We're going nice and slow. 3. Really trying to feel this area here like a boxer. Push away. It's okay to rotate a little bit. Last one. Take a break. Check in. Where did you feel it? You can put it into the comments if you'd like to, so you can be part of the community. Where did you feel that exercise? If you didn't feel it anywhere, it's okay. It can take time to build neural connection. But if you felt it here, you did it. And if you feel less tight after doing the exercise, you especially did it. You won for the day. Good job. If you feel more tight after doing that in any of those areas we mentioned, maybe do less repetitions this next time, less range of motion, or be done if you need to be done. Listen to your body. But if not, let's go ahead and go in for another set. So again, I'm standing on my resistance band. Same leg as the arm that I have lifted goes behind. The other leg comes in front, and I'm coming into that 90-degree angle. Abs are braced, pulling that belly button in and up, pressing the shoulders down. Let's do this. Push away. Notice that my pelvis isn't really moving with this, right? I'm not twisting to compensate. This is all happening from this muscle. 2 more. Last one. And rest. Let's go ahead and do the other side. Stepping on the resistance band now with my other leg. That leg goes behind. Coming into that 90-degree angle, same arm as the back leg. Press shoulders down, draw abs in, and let's go. Push away. You might find it's more difficult to do this on one side rather than the other. That's very common here to have one-sided issues. I'm sure you've had that where you have one side that's weaker, one side that's stronger. Go ahead and rest. Take a few breaths. You can try to release those tight muscles with your diaphragmatic breath work if you'd like to. We're going to take about a 30-second rest here, still listening to your body and what your body needs. And when you're ready, we're going to come right back into it. So again, let's make sure to come into our strong stance. Press down, and 5 more. Push away. Feel it in the right spot. 3 more to go. Of course, you could do more if you want to. 2, and last one. 1. Oh, feels so good. I hope that felt good for you too. Go ahead and take a break. All right, so if your body is feeling done, your body can be done. You can come back to the session anytime that you want to. You can build on these exercises over time. But if you are feeling good so far, we can go into another neck exercise. You ready for this? This one's a little bit weird. I will admit it, but it is one of my favorites. Remember, if you don't feel this in the right spot, or if you're not quite ready for this, it's okay to not do it. It's okay to wait until you build nervous system connection to your cervical flexors before you build strength on top. That's really the gold standard here, is we want strong nervous system connection to these muscles before we get stronger in them. So what we're going to do here is we're going to bring your resistance band behind your head. Again, we are going to draw that belly button in and up so you don't have your low back compensating for this. Pressing shoulders down, away from those ears. And we're going to try to target those cervical flexors again, doing chin tucks, but this time we're lightly pushing back against your band as you do your chin tuck. So we're going to do the same thing that we did when we were laying down. You're going to draw the very back of your tongue just lightly up towards the roof of your mouth. Really try to feel this area in the center of your neck. Feel a sensory connection to it moving in and up without those other muscles compensating. And then we're going to go really nice and small with that chin tuck, but this time we're going back as well. We're retracting back towards the resistance band. This is what I would call an advanced exercise. So again, if you're not ready for it, that's okay. Listen to your body. We're going to do 2 sets of 3 this time because I really want to encourage you listening to who is the nervous system recruiting in this exercise. Is it the right muscles or the wrong muscles? We want to listen to that. So getting into position, activate, and tuck. And rest. Where did you feel it? Did you feel it in the back of the neck? That's probably past capacity, and I don't mean to wave my finger at you, but we want to go smaller if we need to. Did you feel it in your jaw? Do you feel a little bit tighter now after doing the exercise? So many times people say, I hurt the next day after I do exercises, but I didn't feel anything wrong in the moment. This is usually why. Because those other muscles are compensating, and maybe you don't even pay attention. We're paying attention now. Let's try it again if it feels good for you. Bringing the resistance band back, brace the abdominals, press shoulders down, and let's activate and tuck if it feels good for you. and rest. I am going to do sessions in the future where we do more reps, we do more sets, we do more strength challenge, but for today, it's all about listening. Next, I'm going to be using a resistance loop, but you can still use that same resistance band by tying it in a double knot to create a loop. But I'm just going to use this because it's easier for my ADHD brain to do. So I'm bringing this onto my forearms. It's about 2 inches past my wrist, so it's not placed directly on any joint. I'm pressing my shoulders down. I'm zipping up the abs by pulling that belly button in and up the same way that we have for the other exercises. And my feet are still hip width apart right under my hips. What I'm going to do is I'm going to raise my arms as much as is comfortable, and I want to feel this in my lower trap, so it's still in that bottom inside corner of the shoulder blade. This is actually the muscle that acts as a string to hold your head on top of your shoulders. So if we're getting into the real magic here of how we correct a forward head posture the right way, this muscle is so important to stabilize the neck. So we want to feel it there. We don't want to feel it in those upper traps. We don't want to feel it in the low back. Let's go ahead and start for 2 sets of 5. Nice and slow. Really making sure those abs are engaged so your low back is not compensating. Pressing shoulder blades down so you can really feel that lower trap area. We're going to do 2 more. Good. And last one. And rest. Nice work. Let's take about 30 seconds here. Check in with your body on where you felt it. Again, this doesn't have to be perfect. I know that's hard because we are 0 to 60 thinkers typically, and we love things to be perfect. I know I do. But usually this process is a little bit more murky, and it takes time to build that connection to these muscles. You've lived your whole life with the nervous system recruiting the wrong muscles. It's going to take some time to rewire that, and that's okay. So give yourself some grace. If things aren't perfect, that's okay. We just listen to the body the best that we can. And let's go in for our second set. Get ready, press down, zip up, and let's go in for 5 more reps. 1. Pressing those shoulder blades down as you go up. Making sure that the back is not moving. We don't want the booty tooch. 2 more. Nice job. You can do less range of motion if you want, like this. And rest. You can do more if you want to. If you feel really empowered and connected, you can pause this video and do more. No sweat. Go ahead and do whatever you want to do with that. But for a lot of us, our capacity is probably going to start here, and then we'll build as we go on. We're going to stop here, and I would love to hear in the comments, how was this session for you? Did you feel the right muscles doing that work? Did you feel like other muscles were taking over? It's okay wherever you're at, but I would love to hear from you how it's going, and we're going to keep going at this so that we can build connection over time and get stronger and stronger and stronger to correct that dang forward head posture. You are doing a great job. Thanks for joining me, and as always, you're stronger than you may feel right now, and it is possible to feel better.